Hey guys, Tom here doing a review of my Suzuki v-strom 650 XT. This is the 2017-2018 model, and I've done about 5,000 miles now, so I thought it'd be a good time to actually do a review and say what I think of the bike. If you find this video useful, please remember to hit the like button, also subscribe for more content. What I'll do is I'll come round to the back of the bike. I've picked a little spot here where hopefully won't be disturbed, just running through. But I'll come around to the back of the bike. This is the XT model with a couple of additions on. So starting at the back, I've gone with the 55 litre Givey case. This is absolutely awesome. I would 100% recommend it. It doesn't affect filtering or anything, and I can quite easily fit a helmet in the back there as well. If I come down, so the XT has the tyres with the spokes on it, like so. Which is better for protection. I think it also looks pretty cool as well. The tyres that come with the bike are the Bridgestone Batlaks. I think they're A40Fs or something. I mean, these tyres have done, you know, about, I think about 5,300 miles I'm on, and they've still got, you know, a good 8mm of tread left in them. So really pleased with those. I have had to, with the chain, I've had to tighten it just once, quick half turn, that was all it took, but chain seems to be holding up well, cleaning it nicely, keeping it all fresh. Obviously I went in the black colour. The seat is good, it's comfy, it's maybe a little bit hard, but you know, I'm quite comfy with that, not having any problems with it, so it's good. And obviously space for the girlfriend on the back as well. Also, I'd say the centre stand, which is here, doesn't come as standard. 100% get that added on. It is brilliant. A few cars going off now, hopefully we'll be a little bit quieter. So I've gone for the crash bars as well that come on this. I went with the black crash bars because I wanted to go for as black a look as possible with the bike, and they have come in handy because I have dropped it, and I'll show you on the other side the damage that it did. The only thing I don't like about this bike at the moment is this silly sticker, which is proving to be a little bit of a nightmare to get rid of. So I'm kind of getting away at that each day at the moment to try and get a bit more off it. This bike does also come, this isn't standard by the way, this is for my TomTom, which I had to put on. Mirrors are big, you know, they're quite large mirrors here. Absolutely perfect for seeing behind and what's going on. The only thing that I don't like is this one, it seems, it gets a little bit loose sometimes. I've got to pull this up and tighten it up. I don't know why that one is getting loose, but I've tightened it loads now, so hopefully it should be fine. What it also comes with is the 12 volt, oh, camera's going the wrong way. I'm using a gimbal here, first time I've used it. I've got one of the 12 volt chargers here, which is great in principle. However, I found out the other day that it's only 3 amps going through it. I put a compressor in to charge my tyres up and it blew the fuse straight away. So I'm a little bit frustrated about that because 3 amp is only going to do your phone, maybe a sat nav as well. So I need to look at how I can change that. If anyone knows how to change it, please let me know in the comments, because I don't know whether I need to actually buy a whole new 12 volt socket and put it on the other side and say wire it up. That seems a bit ridiculous. I'm sure there'll be an easy way to play around with the electrics and get that sorted. So coming around the front of the bike, that's how it looks. I was a little bit unsure originally about the beak on these. Oh, camera's going the wrong way again. A little bit unsure about the beak on these. I wasn't too fussed on the look when I first looked at it, but I'm now starting to really like that beak because it's not as bad as the model. I think it's the 2016 model, which is like a really, it looks like a plate hanging out at the front. Not as bad as that, and I'm starting to quite like it. Come around the front. I've got the touring screen on with the extra bit at the top, which quite nicely deflects the air over my head. I'm about 6 foot, and I don't really have many problems with the air going on the motorway. We'll go for a ride in a minute though. Coming down the front, you've got the lights one above the other, which I think is nicer than having them side by side. And I mentioned about some damage, so I did drop the bike, so I've got a bit of scratching just here. And then I also, most of the impact was taken here on the crash bars, which I then spray painted again, a matte black, and it's covered up quite nicely. You can hardly really see it. I mean, if I go back here, I mean, you can't really notice it on there. I think the bike looks good. The exhaust is the one bit that I really don't like. So the exhaust is quiet. I'm going to be getting that changed at some point. I've been looking at Scorpion exhausts, but they don't actually make a Scorpion exhaust for the 2017-2018 v-strom as of yet. I was actually on the phone to them, I think yesterday, and they said they will have one out before the end of the year. I think Scorpion, well, it was going to be either Scorpion Arrow or Akrapovic. I may be pronouncing that wrong, but you know, I need to get that changed. I'll start up in a minute so you can see how that sounds. We've also got adjustment on the back here for how much weight we have going down the back, the spring at the back. I've worded that wrong, but you know what I'm saying. I think what I'm also looking to do is the givey case on the back. I'm looking to get the side cases at some point. They are the V35 ones. So if you want to see how they look, then in a future video I'll do that. Okay, let's start the bike up. I'm in neutral. So that's the start up. I don't know how the sound's going to come through on here, but the exhaust is, I mean, it's alright, but it doesn't have any real tone to it. I mean, it's just not exciting really. So I do want to get that sorted out. Let me give it a rev, see if that. I mean, I'm not sure how much of that is coming through. I'm going to just turn the engine off again. I'm not sure how much of that is coming through, but you know, I just think, I just think the exhaust needs to be improved. And then once that's done, I think the bike is then, you know, absolutely perfect. In terms of height, I think I said I'm 6 foot, you know, and I can touch the floor, put both feet down, sitting on this bike, not a problem. I think my inside leg is 33 inches, something like that. But it's very comfortable. I enjoy it. I've done about, like I say, just over 5,000 miles. So I wanted to do the review now, and those miles have been done on motorways, back roads, side roads, A roads, you know, through the city, you know, quite varied riding. Not a lot of massive off-road riding though. But what I'll do is I'll now jump on the bike and take you for a spin and talk a little bit more about the handling. Cheers.
Okay, so I went and recorded a nice bit of footage, got home, and the audio was all mixed up, so I've had to start again. Fortunately I was getting some interference there, so you'll notice that the weather has changed slightly since when I was doing the quick walk around of the bike, but hopefully the roads will be a little bit busier this time anyway. So what I'll do is I'll just do a ride through town, showing you what it's like about town and for a bit of traffic, and then we'll go on the motorway as well, just to show you how it performs there. So in terms of how the bike is now, I mean, I'm sitting in this quite nice commanding position. I'm flat-footed, both feet on the ground. I can see quite well. My head height is, you know, probably about a foot above the tops of cars, which is good because it means that I can see quite clearly what's happening in front of me, and I also think it's good because people can then potentially see me easier behind vehicles, well, behind cars. They won't be able to see me behind that big old bus in front of us, would they? So I mean, it handles very comfortably around town. It's, you know, it's the sort of riding I do. I mean, I've been riding on, you know, motorways and going through town, going through traffic, A roads, you know, some twisties, and it seems to handle all of them really well. You can have a lot of fun with it, but you can also be a bit more relaxed with it. I'll show you the acceleration when I get an opportunity to do that, because it does have the power when you need it. I don't know if we will have any filtering opportunities, but it does filter well. It's not too wide. I mean, you know, sports bikes will filter better, because they're smaller obviously, but you know, they're only going to be a difference of maybe, you know, 5 minutes might save me on my hour and a half ride into London if I was on a sports bike, because it's only a few smaller gaps which I can't then get through. So I'll accelerate up here. Actually I won't, because we're only at a 30 at the moment, but I mean, pulling away is no problem. This bike as well has the low RPM assist, so pulling away is actually, you know, fine. I mean, obviously I'm a new bike rider, it's a new bike, you know, you're going to have the occasional stall of a bike, but it hasn't seemed to be a lot. I don't know if that's because of my skill or the low RPM assist, but that's obviously helping out. So what I do is I've got to join the motorway up here a little bit. Brakes are okay. I've felt at times the front brake could be a little bit stronger, but you know, it's perfectly acceptable. I mean, it's funny, when I was looking at the v-strom, obviously they do the 1000 and the 650, and I was thinking to myself, wow, am I going to need the 1000? Am I going to need the 1000? Will a 650 be enough? And the areas where I was sort of concerned, I suppose, were motorway riding, because I knew I'd be doing a fair bit, and then potentially touring. And on the motorways this is fine. You know, for one person there aren't any problems at all. I'm hoping there's no crackling on my sound here, as that was what has meant that I have to record this again, and it seemed that it was happening when I was getting a bit of speed, which is why I'm trying to talk quite relaxed. There's a tendency to get overly excited when I'm on a bike. However, I'm keeping it nice and relaxed, hoping that that helps the audio. So so what it is, we'll come off, let's come off here, jump on the M20, go down a junction. I need to go to the shops and get some food, so it gives us an opportunity to get it up to speed on the motorway. M20 London. Let me just crank off the M20 here. Oh no, I can't. Alright, let's go back round. Sorry. I usually don't go this. In fact, I don't think I've ever joined the motorway on this point. M20 London, that's not what we want. We want the M20 this way. I don't know, you could go this way. So, in terms of handling, responsiveness, it's got there if you need to avoid something. I had a cone dropped in front of me and I could do a quick flick around it when that happened before. You know, it moves when you want it to. Okay, let's just filter through here. Let's go up here because I just wanted to show you some filtering, and this is the perfect opportunity. So let's say you're in the morning traffic, you're trying to get to work and you're thinking, is my bike gonna get through? Is it gonna save me much time? 100% it does. Cheers. Now, this wasn't where I was planning to go to, but it just looked like a perfect opportunity to show you what filtering is like on it. Now obviously these are big gaps that I'm going through at the moment, so that's not a problem. Let's jump over here, see if he's going to let me in. I could have gone past, but he's going to let me in. But I want to get into this bit here just to show you how we fit. So going through here, I feel comfortable. This is not a problem coming through this bit. The only thing that I do get concerned about, I suppose, is when I've said about the exhaust and why I want to change the exhaust, because it's a little bit quiet. I do worry that when I'm filtering, if I had a bit more oomph and a bit more volume to the exhaust, that people would be able to hear me better, and may make them realise that I am coming through. But people do seem to see me a reasonable amount, I'd say. It's difficult because you're approaching them quite quick, so people aren't generally going to see you. Anyway, no, I think through no fault of theirs. I mean, if you're in a car, you know, crawling along, you know, you're not checking your mirrors every, you know, 5 seconds, which is probably what you need to be checking them if you want to be able to spot every bike coming along. So I take the view that they can't see me, and that's through no fault of their own. So I just have to make sure that I'm being suitably cautious where I need to be and able to respond, which the bike can do. Getting back to the bike review as opposed to talking about other stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm sitting high up, you know, the lights are good, so I can be seen. We could do with an opportunity to accelerate a bit to show you the performance on this, because it does perform well. Other side of this A road is looking clear, but I don't know if I can get there through this turn off. I'm not sure actually I can, but it is quick. I'm going to slow down a little bit just to give you a quick, don't want to annoy the rider, the driver behind me too much, but I mean the pickup is good. I mean, it has all the power you need it to have to respond to incidents quickly on the motorway, to jump into gaps, and it's also very comfortable cruising at, you know, motorway speeds of, you know, the 70 to 80 kind of mark, you know, which I think is what you need on a bike. I mean, it pretty comfortably gets up to speed there. And you know, you can ride along at this speed for, you know, a few hours feeling okay. I mean, I get a little bit of wind hitting the tops of my arms, but my main torso area is protected quite nicely by this screen here. So I mean, yeah, the riding I do, I mean, I've been on the motorway for 2 hours and it hasn't been a problem. So what I'll do is I'll come back down this road. I have got to go to the supermarket anyway, so, but I just wanted to go through that section to show you a little bit of filtering. this handy. Going to be able to do a 0 to 60 here with a little bit of a bend. Should I be doing that? My mother watches these videos, I have you know, so I can't be too crazy. But yeah, I mean, for all the day-to-day stuff you need of a bike, I think this is pretty perfect, really. It's not the sort of bike that's going to turn heads. Which I think is good, because then it also means it's not the sort of bike that is going to have thieves looking at it. I mean, that gets up to speed quick. So yeah, it's not the sort of bike that turns heads, but that's a good thing. It's a all-purpose bike. I think that's what it really aims to do. If you're going to have one motorbike, then this is, you know, along the lines of the sort of thing that you probably want, which is why I went for it. I was looking at this. I was looking at the what was it? There was the Kawasaki Versus. I think those were the main two. Oh, and also the Yamaha Tracer I looked at as well. But as soon as I had a ride of one of these, I was just sold. Easy to ride, and you know, had the power it needed, which I was worried it might not, being a 650. But as it was comfortable, so good bike, really. In terms of the mile per gallon, as I'm going past the petrol station, let's see what I'm getting in my menus. 61 miles to the gallon I'm getting. That's my average MPG over the 5,000 odd miles that I've done, which, you know, I ride it quite quick at times. I mean, if I slowed it down, that could probably go up. That's also what it is saying on here, so I probably need to work out of a calculator if that's exact, but I trust the computers. But I've seen people online talk about, you know, they're not actually as accurate. Okay, dropping down. Yeah, I decided there's no point going on the M20. We've done a little bit of a speed run. I could do with some twisties, really, to show you how it performs on those, but there aren't a great deal around. I'm trying to think if I know a spot nearby, but it's fun for someone like me, who's, you know, still fairly new to biking. I mean, granted, I've done my full tests, I've done a lot of riding in that time since I've passed my tests. You know, I still think of myself as a newish rider, and, you know, but for someone like me, it is a fun bike to ride. You know, it's not the sort of thing you're going along popping wheelies in, but it's the sort of thing that, you know, gets you from A to B, puts a smile on your face, and handles it fine. So I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if there's any twisties around here. We could go through traffic in town again. So I suppose while I'm doing that, let's think about closing thoughts on the bike. I love it. I think it's great. The points that I would change are the exhaust. I would also change the 12 volt lighter, cigar lighter here, this little socket thing. That definitely needs to have a higher ampage. It's really quite annoyed me, the fact that it doesn't, because I mean, it seems like such a silly thing, especially as this bike is marketed as an adventure bike, where it's the sort of bike where you would probably, you know, if you're going on an adventure, you're going to take potentially a compressor with you to, you know, check your tyre pressure and pump them up. So that was very annoying that they haven't sorted that out. But yeah, other than that, very good, very pleased with it. I probably waffled on a fair bit here. It's the first time I've done a bike review. Hope it's been useful. If there's any questions that I haven't covered or anything that you want to know, then feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'll answer anything that pops up. I hope you enjoyed. If you did so, please hit the like button and the subscribe. It really helps me out when you guys do that. Obviously my channel is very small at the moment, but hoping one day I can grow it and maybe turn it into something quite interesting. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed, and catch you for the next one. Cheers, bye.